Why do I, at 65, avoid people? Have you ever felt like the people around you have become strangers? That conversations no longer bring joy, and meetings drain you? I asked myself these questions over and over. For some reason, after 60, I started choosing silence more often. You might think I'm disappointed in people, that something happened, or that I've just become strange. But in reality, it's much deeper than that. Have you ever wondered why, as we age, we're drawn to solitude? Why do people who once filled our lives now seem foreign? I asked myself these questions too. And honestly, it wasn't easy to find the answers right away. I used to be different. I enjoyed being the center of attention, hosting guests, and participating in large gatherings. I was the woman who could carry any conversation. But gradually, something changed. And if you watch this video until the end, I'll tell you exactly what. I used to love being in the middle of events, hanging out with friends, and having endless conversations. It seemed like that was happiness. But over time, amidst all the hustle and bustle, I started to feel empty. Does that sound familiar? Do you know that feeling when there are many people around, but it's like you're not there? That's when I first asked myself, why am I putting up with this? Why am I pretending I need this? It didn't happen in one day. At first, I just started to get tired. All these endless conversations where everyone wants to be heard but few want to listen. At first, I thought, it's probably age, I'm just losing interest. But that wasn't the case. It's not about age. And it's not about people either. I realized I had changed. Too many events, experiences, disappointments. They gradually taught me to value something completely different. I remember the day when I finally realized I can no longer be the same. It was an ordinary meeting with old friends. We gathered around a table, talked, laughed. But inside, I felt as though I was behind a glass wall. It felt like I was watching what was happening from the outside, like a spectator. That's when I first allowed myself to honestly admit, I don't need to be here. I don't want to. And that became the beginning of a new chapter. Why do I avoid people? Today, when I choose solitude, it doesn't mean I've stopped loving people. No. It means I've learned to love myself. And this discovery changed my life. I used to try to please everyone, to be convenient, to maintain relationships that had long outlived their purpose. I was afraid to say no, afraid of losing those who, in fact, were no longer a part of my life. But now, it's different. I avoid people who drain my energy, those who bring no joy or sincerity. I avoid shallow conversations, unnecessary meetings, and empty obligations. And you know what? This doesn't make me lonely. On the contrary, it makes me free. The loneliness that once scared me has become my ally. It taught me to listen to myself. I started hearing my true desires, not what society imposes on me. A morning with a cup of coffee and silence outside the window has become much more valuable to me than any social conversations. I can read for hours, engage in my favorite hobby, walk in nature, and not feel like I'm wasting time. Yes, sometimes it's sad. There are moments when I miss having a close person to share my thoughts with. But I've learned to cope with this by finding comfort in the very process of life. The first change. What I realized. One day, in the middle of yet another mandatory meeting, I caught myself thinking, why am I here? Am I even interested in listening to this? People were talking, laughing, sharing news. But deep down, I felt alienated. All these conversations started to feel shallow, irrelevant. That's when I first asked myself, how many people in my life truly know me? The ones who don't just ask, how are you? but genuinely want to hear the answer. And you know what? There aren't many of them. The older you get, the more acutely you realize that time is priceless. Over the years, I've come to understand that I don't want to waste my time on emptiness. Every minute, hour, day, it's a luxury. I'm no longer willing to spend them on conversations for the sake of it, or meetings because it's expected. Don't get me wrong. I don't regret my past. It made me who I am now. But now I choose differently. To choose what truly brings joy. The power of solitude. It may sound strange, but solitude has taught me to listen to myself. For the first time in many years, I began to notice what I truly like. In the morning, I can leisurely drink tea while watching the birds outside the window. No one interrupts my thoughts. I can read for hours or write in my journal, and it fills me more than any conversation. There was a time when I was afraid to be alone. Like many of us, I thought happiness only came through other people. But it turns out happiness is not about the number of friends, but the quality of your inner world. Why do people leave? Maybe you think I stopped socializing because of resentment or conflicts. No. People come and go naturally. We change, they change. And that's okay. But you know what I realized? Some people find it comfortable when you adjust. When you're convenient. As soon as you start saying no, setting boundaries, many disappear. And that's fine. Balance between solitude and socializing. Now, I don't hide from people entirely. I've found my balance. Only those who understand me without unnecessary words remain around me. It's like a warm light on a cold evening. A little, but enough to warm up. When I want company, I don't seek noisy gatherings. I prefer sincere one-on-one conversations. And when I want silence, I don't feel guilty about turning down invitations. What I want to tell you. If you feel lost among many people, if the noisy crowd feels empty, if loneliness scares you, but sometimes it beckons, you're not alone. Many of us go through this, but we're afraid to admit it. Allow yourself to be honest with yourself. Allow yourself to choose. Life is too short to spend it on things that don't bring joy. Don't be afraid of silence. It's not your enemy. It can become your teacher, your mirror, and your comfort. I'm not asking everyone to shut themselves off and avoid people. No. But I ask you to listen to your heart. Ask yourself, what makes me happy? Who makes me happy? And give yourself the right to keep only what truly matters in your life. Maybe, like me, you'll discover that solitude is not emptiness, but an opportunity to fill yourself. That your time and energy are priceless, and you have the right to spend them on what fills your soul with warmth. When I started this journey, I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid that I'd be misunderstood. But now I see, what matters is not what others think, but how you feel about your life. Share this video with those who, like you, might need these words. Perhaps it will be the first step towards change for someone. And I will be happy if you subscribe to my channel. Together, we can share what matters. Thoughts, ideas, support. Here you'll find heartfelt conversations, reflections on life, and much more that I hope will be helpful to you. Click like if this video resonated with you and subscribe so you won't miss new stories. Let's create a space where everyone feels warm and comfortable. Remember, living in harmony with yourself is not selfishness. It's the greatest gift you can give yourself. I'm grateful that you watched this video, and I really hope it inspired you. Your comfort, your happiness, and your time are the most valuable things you have. Take care of them. Live for yourself, not for others' expectations. Thank you for spending this time with me. See you in the next videos. Take care of yourselves and your souls.